everyone. Again, I do this video late in the night. It's 10:30. I skipped yesterday's meditation. Again, I don't know. I just come tired at home, and I can't do it. I'm gonna carry on till I finish this 30 days challenge, regardless of how many days I will skip. Okay, now I'll start reading from Alan Wallace's book, The 7-Point Mind Training. Tonight I'll be reading the third section of the second chapter. The section is called "Even the Antidote Itself is Liberated in Its Own Place." And after I finish reading this section, I'll have my meditation, and you're obviously, as always, welcome to join me. Again, I decided to do a first-hand reading, so this is my first time reading this chapter, and you'll have my honest and uncensored reactions. So let's go ahead. The next verse of the root text continues on the subject of ultimate bodhicitta, or realizing the nature of reality as a practice during meditation sessions. The direct realization of ultimate truth is the fundamental antidote and ultimate healer of the distortions that afflict the mind. Okay. The author is saying that even this realization itself is liberated in its own place. And here liberated means lacking intrinsic existence. Even the realization of ultimate truth is itself devoid of inherent existence. So when you realize the ultimate truth, even that has no substance. So you question everything, you question the nature of reality, you question yourself, and then you question the ultimate truth, and then you realize, okay, there is no intrinsic substance to this ultimate truth. And what does this mean? There is no inherent existence. So Shibwa has shifted here to a third aspect of reality. After denying first the intrinsic existence of the objective reality and then that of subjective awareness, he now moves on to transcendent awareness. Even this transcendent experience of ultimate reality, in which there is no sense of subject-object, no duality of this as opposed to that, self as opposed to other, no sense of time, no conceptual discrimination, even this fundamental antidote to the fundamental distortion of ignorance has no inherent existence. Okay? A bit difficult to grasp, but understand at least these couples of the duality is no longer there, and then the monada is no longer there as well. Like there is no one. So duality doesn't dissolve into one singularity. Apparently, it dissipates completely this inherent existence. Yeah. Okay. On what grounds can we make such a statement? The Madhyamaka view proposes the thesis that any dependently related event is devoid of intrinsic existence. So if I depend on the existence of my parents and everything else, this house, oxygen, air, whatever, water, then I don't have inherent existence, intrinsic existence. Okay, this sums up the ultimate and conventional nature of all phenomena. So I am I have no limits only because I depend on so many other things. So the concept of me is a wrong concept. It completely um, um, diverts or distorts the nature of reality. The nature of reality, even reality of I can't put it that way. I can't say the nature of reality of myself because myself is no longer existing. Okay, consider whether the non-dual awareness of ultimate truth is a dependently related event. Okay, I understand that. Does it arise in dependence on causes? It should. Experience tells us causes and circumstances do give rise to this conceptual realization of emptiness. It results from meditating, cultivating an ethical way of life, developing mental stability and clarity, making intelligent inquiry into the nature of reality, gaining insight, and then repeatedly entering into that awareness. If one lives an immoral life or takes no interest, then this realization will not arise. Okay. Such awareness, therefore, does not exist self sufficiently and absolutely, but depends upon favorable causes and conditions. This raises a broader issue which is very important in the Madhyamaka view, this most subtle of all Buddhist philosophies. As a hypothetical case, if something were to exist intrinsically, absolutely, and self sufficiently, what would that imply? What kind of attributes would it necessitate? Nagarjuna and other great meditators of the past, following the Buddha himself, have stated that such an entity would be absolutely immutable. It would be devoid of change and immune to any interaction with phenomena other than itself, because any kind of interaction implies change. Okay, makes sense, I think. It would be utterly and absolutely isolated from anything that is not itself. Moreover, it would be beyond the scope of awareness because we know something only by our consciousness interacting with that object. If, for example, non dual awareness of ultimate reality were to exist intrinsically, it would be forever unknowable. It's a simple math and makes sense. It sounds logical to me. The relationship of this hypothetical entity to its attributes, the whole to its parts, is also problematic. The investigation of this problem is another critical avenue leading to the recognition that phenomena ultimately have no absolute or intrinsic nature. I tend to agree with this. This leads us to the related topic of the evolving Buddha nature. This awareness, present in every sentient being, is the continuity that links one lifetime to another, human or otherwise. For most of us, it is latent, so obscured by the clutter on the surface of our minds that we are not aware of its presence. I'll start again. This leads us to the related topic of the evolving Buddha nature. This awareness, present in every sentient being, is the continuity that links one lifetime to another, human or otherwise. for most of us, it is latent, so obscured by the clutter on the surface of our minds that we are not aware of its presence. Okay, I understand this. Rather, we are aware of the much more superficial conceptualizations, emotions, hopes, fears, anxieties, desires, and so forth that shroud the underlying Buddha nature. It is this Buddha nature which gradually develops into one's awareness of the full awakening of Buddhahood. So you're superficial, and then if you get your depths, then you reach to Buddha nature, and from Buddha nature you acquire awareness of the full awakening of Buddhahood. Was the difference between Buddha nature and Buddhahood? That remains to be seen. I don't know what was the difference. This evolving Buddha nature, this innate capacity for awakening, so it's an innate capacity for awakening. It's like, it's latent, it's a possibility. So, this evolving Buddha nature, this innate capacity for awakening that each of us is endowed with, be intimately associated with the realization of ultimate reality? Certainly there is a relationship. Does this Buddha nature exist intrinsically? Is it not independent of any specific life form? We have already said that this continuity does not depend on the specific form of a given lifetime. Okay, but we have to say once again, no. Even the evolving Buddha nature, which is innate in all of us, does not exist intrinsically. Okay. It too exists as a dependently related event. To what? In short, there is no conceivable entity, whether objective, subjective, or non-dual, that has intrinsic existence. How have we arrived to this conclusion? It is not through blind faith or the simple acceptance of dogma. The only way to arrive at it authentically, with full benefit of the process, is by investigating with integrity, questioning and applying our full critical awareness and experience. As we bring to mind the hypothetical or assumed intrinsic existence of any phenomenon, the practice eventually leads us to the clarity and certainty that none of these things that have been presented exist intrinsically. Okay, sorry for my breaks in my reading. So that was the chapter. To me, this is not a new notion, not by far, that everything is connected. We do agree with that, but it's interesting to make the step from just parroting or intuiting. So one thing would be parroting, yeah, parroting this idea without actually contemplating on it. Another situation might be when you have an intuition, but you actually didn't put enough work into understanding why. Not only understanding, but you might engage other parts of your being if you just contemplate on the reality of this idea. Right. And then if we contemplate, if we meditate, on the nature of reality, of each phenomena. And if we meditate also on the idea of the ultimate truth, only because we can interact with it, that to me it's a sort of evidence that I am related to that. That phenomena is not independent in it on its own. To me, the problem he described in this section is not an actual issue, but I understand why he wants to break it down. He doesn't want to act on belief, but more on knowledge. At least that's the reason for me why I would undergo such a practice. Okay. Now I'll go to my meditation practice for tonight. I will set my alarm for 15 minutes. And we can find a relaxing position. Start paying attention to our breath. Enjoy your trip. it took me to extremes, this meditation. I felt it was really easy to dive deep into it for the first half of this session, and for the next half I struggled with different ideas, different thoughts. So I was challenged from thinking what I was doing at work, to I was thinking to a girl that I like, and I started to have romantic feelings, sexual feelings, and I realized, back to the point of the section, that each of them, if I consider them challenges that have an intrinsic substance, then I can't actually interact with them. And this is helpful because I knew that I can interact with them, but it felt like overwhelming, like they are controlling me, these thoughts, these challenges that I have during the meditation. But if I think like, oh, they are dependent, they are penetrable by my will. And it's interesting because obviously, definitely you can instantiate a different sensation in your body that is completely not opposite, but very different to the sensation that kind of took over your body or your mind. So I've been using this for a long time now, for probably more than 10 years, but I stumble and fall every day. But this tool, it's very useful to have, like to really put the thought, the emotion, and the sensation you need in that moment, whether you are overwhelmed by anxiety, by different type of attachment, craving. You can sometimes postpone different challenges you are being faced with. Okay, I think this is all for tonight. Thanks again for being with me, and hope to see you tomorrow. Take care and bye.